From Brooke High School, WTRF proudly presents Ohio Valley Tonight with Nathan Marshall. Tonight's guest. Tonight we are joined by James Schulte, right? James, Thanks for coming in. Appreciate
Thanks for having
He's
me.
of the Kruger Street Toy and Train Museum in Wheeling, West Virginia. And James, God knows I'm a 5-year-old boy trapped in the body of a 30-year-old man. And I'm just curious, if I come down to the museum this year, what are some of the things that I can look forward to doing?
Well, you can expect a little bit of everything, whether you are under 5 or, well, you're a little older than 5, say 105 or so.
You have a lot of 105-year-old people coming to the museum, do you?
There's something for everybody. And that we have dolls, we have cars and trucks, we have miniatures, and we also have other girl things as well. And that's only half of it. So you see Barbie to G.I. Joe to Hot Wheels into Chatty Cathy or other fun kitchen things like that too.
Yeah. James, we have a student question from Brooke High School senior Zach Fadse, and Zach Fadse says this.
How do you know a toy is worth something as opposed to something that is worthless?
That's a good question, especially about toys. How do you know something is worthless or worth your while?
One of the big things that usually sets a toy off, or actually any item for collectibles, is a lot of times color variations. Things such as pinks or yellows were hard to produce, and they weren't common that they were produced and such, especially for like boy items such as trains and things of that nature.
Yeah.
That you don't tend to see those colors as much. So a color like that tends to be rare.
I feel like it's Christmas morning here at the studio because you brought with you some toys from the museum for us to play with. What did you bring today, James?
Well, this isn't quite an action figure. It's actually a little earlier than action figures.
Action lady.
Yeah, and she is a girl and everything.
Yeah.
This is Jane, and this is Jane West from the Johnny West series.
Oh, nice.
This is her horse, and I think it's Thunderbolt, but I'm not positive. Please don't quote me on that.
We'll call it Thunderbolt.
But she rides him around and such. This is a very popular series for both boys and girls. As you see, it's cowboys and Indians here. We have some Indians at the museum and such. And they were boys and girls included in this series. So it was very popular for both boys and girls to play with.
I don't mean to be rude, but I don't think that's a toy that most boys would be happy with getting.
I have no idea about that. But they usually did come all together, and they had carriages, and it'd be just like going on the frontier.
It's like a Burger King kids meal toy. You know, you get the Burger King, oh, it's a princess. Well, you give it to your sister, and you get mad. That's what you do. You punch a hole in the wall, and you tell your parents you hate them. Because that is what life is about when you're 8 years old. All right, James, I have a controller in my hand, so it looks like a Nintendo controller or something like that. What is this, actually?
Well, this is Rockenbach. Rockenbach is an American company from California. They make this really cool toy. I'll actually pick one up here. And it's rated as one of the top learning toys. And so this way the kids can actually drive them around. They have different construction things that they can do, and they can drive the trucks around. They are fully wireless, as you can see. And so that way they can be the ones in control.
I want to challenge you to a Rockenbach duel. Are you in?
All right.
You versus I. Here we go. Oh, yeah, here we go. I'm going to tip you over. James, it's over, dude. It's all over. The finishing move. That's what happens when you come into my house. Sorry I had to do that to you. Sorry you had to see that, Ohio Valley. I actually brought some toys to the studio myself today in hopes that you'll tell me if they could gain entrance into the Kruger Street Toy and Train Museum. You up for that? Okay. The next two I got with me here are a good friend of mine, Yoda, with a little button that says, never trust a baby with a mustache, which is good advice. And my good friend, Chatty Teeth. I love Chatty Teeth. What do you think?
Well, Yoda could actually be pretty well at the museum. We have several Star Wars things. We, for 4 years, actually hosted the West Virginia Star Wars Convention. And so, yeah, Yoda, we have a lot of Star Wars. Yoda would fit right in with that. The Chatty Teeth, I don't know, they're a classic thing, but I don't know where I'd put them at.
I know where I'd put them at. Right in my heart.
In your heart?
Because they're beautiful. It's classic. It's a classic bit. Watch this.
Curious you are. Many things can Yoda teach you.
That's where I get all my financial advice from.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'm bankrupt.
Okay. Explains a lot.
Yep. Again, I want to thank my guest, James Schulte. Thanks for coming, James. He's the curator at the Kruger Street Toy and Train Museum down in Wheeling, West Virginia. And James, they can look up more information on the Kruger Street Toy and Train Museum by visiting
toyandtrain.com.
Toyandtrain.com. Pretty simple. Or you can call 304-242-8133, and a super nice lady answers the phone, which is always a plus. And for Ohio Valley Tonight, this has been Nathan Marshall. So James, we have with us Janice West, and I want you to get a good close look at her face because she's about to die. You put Janice on the track and go ahead and... Oh no, Janice. Oh no, it's the end of your life. Oh my goodness. That was a blood... Oh gosh. You finished her off. It's a bloody, bloody mess in Toy World. And that's what you can get at the Toy and Train Museum. That could be just